Hello, my name is Tim Brophy. I'm the Director of Institutional Assessment, and this video is all about the 2014-15 academic assessment planning process. Now, a couple of strategies you might want to employ while you're watching this video. First, at our institutional assessment website on the assessment resources page, you'll find this guide, and you would probably want to have this ready and at your side to go through as I go through this video. Another strategy might be to open a separate window and open up Compliance Assist. And I'm going to be talking about navigating through Compliance Assist during this video. So you might want to have Compliance Assist open in another window so you can practice the navigations that I discuss with you. Okay, so let's get started. Well, what's the purpose of this video today? Well, first of all, we're going to describe for you what's new for the 2014-15 planning process, and there are some things that are new. And I'm going to provide some instructions for submitting and revising your 2014-15 academic assessment plans. Finally, I'll describe the institutional resources that are available for you for assessment planning for this year. So what's new? Well, all the 2013-14 academic assessment plans have now been converted from the documents that you submitted previously into Compliance Assist itself. So now they are in the planning module. All right, and the 2014-15 plans have also been rolled over. Excuse me, that was wrong. The 2013-14 plans have been rolled over to 2014-15. All right, and the plans for 2014-15 are going to be directly entered or modified in Compliance Assist this year. You will not submit a document version of your assessment plan as you have done in the past. So how do we get to the assessment plans? Here are the step-by-step instructions, and this is when you might want to have Compliance Assist open so that you can follow these along. First, you need to log in. There's the website, all right, and it's available to all of you. And if you don't have access to Compliance Assist, you want to be sure to write us an email at assessment@aa.ufl.edu so that we can get you access to logging in. So when you get to this screen, you're going to click on Planning. So there's the screen when you log in, and there's the planning link that you will click when you get there. When you get to that page, you're going to click on the My Dashboard, which is up there at the top of the page, as you can see. When you get to the My Dashboard, My Roles page, which looks like this, you're then going to click Edit Filter. You're going to change the year to fiscal year 2014-15, and that will be a drop-down box that opens. You'll go down and select 2014-15, and the last thing you'll click is OK, and then that will open up the 2014-15 windows for you as we go forward. When you get to the My Dashboard Assessment Plans page, how do we access that? Well, you're going to, at that page, you're going to click on the Assessment Plans tab, and then you'll see that there's a unit list that appears in the left column. So you won't see the unit list until you click on the Assessment Plans tab. So it's really important that you do that first. Then you're going to find your program. Now this takes a little bit of searching because there are plus symbols to the left of each one of the units that you see that on this particular page you see on the left. So what you'll see now is that I have opened up the plans and the materials for the Master of Science in Agriculture and Biological Engineering. I did that by clicking the plus, which on the University of Florida, then the academic programs, and then the academic colleges, academic affairs, then the academic colleges, and then you click on your college, and then you find your program or your certificate. And just as a note, certificates in your college are listed in their own program window, so you'll have to open that window to find the particular certificate that you might be either altering or modifying or entering a plan for. You'll find the program mission here. You'll find the student learning outcomes on this page. You'll also find something called the Academic Assessment Plan Detail, or AAP Detail. All of this has been rolled over from 2013-14 into 2014-15. So what you see here in the 2014-15 window are all the 2013-14 materials that we have put there for you. So now that you've found your plan, we need to know how to edit it for 2014-15. Remember, I told you that the 2013-14 materials are what we have put into the 2014-15 planning module for you. So they have to be modified. So let's think first about the mission. If you have modified your mission for 2014-15 and its connection to the departmental, the college and university missions, then you need to simply click on the Edit tab, which will open up the window for editing your mission. Make the edits, and then you'll click Save and Close. That will save the changes. If you don't click Save and Close, you're going to lose all the changes that you've entered. So if you haven't changed your mission, you don't need to do anything there. Just leave it alone. Student learning outcomes are different in the planning module as far as how we modify them. You're going to have to open up each outcome using the Edit tab that you see here. You're going to have to update the number to 2014-15 SLO and whatever number it is. I've given you an example here in this particular program that I'm using as an example where the 2013-14 SLO1 would be changed to 2014-15 SLO1. Now that is something you'll have to do manually because our system just doesn't convert those titles for us or those numbers. However, if you modify your existing outcomes or you're entering a new plan for 2014-15 and you have new student learning outcomes, then you must go to the approval website, open up the appropriate approval tracking links, and complete the forms there that will allow you to submit these changes to the Academic Assessment Committee. And we do need these changes by April the 4th of 2014 because if you don't get them in by then, we will not have a chance to act on them in time to get them into the catalog for next year. That applies to the undergraduate programs. All right, the Academic Assessment Committee will then review the changes that you have submitted, and when they're approved, we'll notify you they've been approved. You can go in then and you can modify your outcomes and include the new updates at that time in Compliance Assist. We in institutional assessment will notify the catalog editor for you. You do not need to notify the catalog editor when student learning outcomes are approved for 2014-15. Now, if you're not making any changes to your student learning outcomes for 2014-15, there's nothing to worry about. They will remain the same in the catalog. They will simply roll over to next year unchanged. Now, there is a new section in the Compliance Assist Academic Assessment Plan called the Academic Assessment Plan, or AAP Detail section. Now, this is the online form that contains all of the elements and the components of the academic assessment plans that you have previously submitted in document form via the approval system. So just for a moment, let's review what those sections are. Remember, all academic assessment plans, whether they're graduate, professional, undergraduate, or certificate, must have an assessment cycle, they must have a sample rubric, and also listing the assessment oversight individuals or individual who we would contact if we had a question about the plan. Now, the professional and graduate academic assessment plans have 3 additional sections that are required. One is the research section, the other is the measurement tools section, and then the assessment timeline must also be included. The undergraduate programs have 3 different but also required sections: curriculum map, methods and procedures, and the SLO assessment matrix. Certificates for both graduate, professional, and undergraduate programs must include all of the appropriate sections for their particular level. So including the column here where you see all academic assessment plans must contain those items. If it's a graduate or professional certificate, it needs to include the items there. If it is a undergraduate certificate, it needs to include the items there. Now, if you have an existing academic assessment plan, which is the majority of you that are watching this video, all right, what you're going to do is you're going to open the AAP detail link in your academic assessment plan window. And there I've highlighted it for you again. That's what you'll click. This will open up, well, I'll tell you what it opens up in just a minute, okay? If you're entering a new academic assessment plan, you're going to have to open the new item box, okay? And you're going to have to select each appropriate new item. When you do that, it will open a blank form. You're going to then complete the fields in those blank forms and save your information after you finish entering it, because that's going to be the way that Compliance Assist holds the information. Again, this is only for the new academic assessment plans if you're filling out a blank form. All right, so but program goals, remember, are only needed for the degree programs. Certificates do not need program goals. Okay, there's another example of all I've highlighted there, all of the different kinds of new items that you could open up in the AAP detail new item section. Okay, then once you do that, for a new academic assessment plan, you need to then submit the appropriate student learning outcome or academic learning compact forms from the approval site. And there I give you the chain that you have to go through to find that, because when you open up the approval site, you'll click on undergraduate, graduate, or professional, all right, or even and you'll go to the ALC SLO Academic Assessment Plan link, and that will take you to the forms that you need. So it's all right there for you if you just click on the right thing. But if you have any problem finding that, just let us know and we will help you through that. Now, when you're editing fields in your academic assessment plan detail portion, first you have to click on the Edit tab. All right, that will open up the edit field for you. But if you don't see the tab in your window, there's a slider bar at the bottom, and you simply slide it to the right until you see the Edit tab come into view. Depends on the size of your computer monitor, also the size of the window itself that you're typing into. Sometimes the Edit tab isn't immediately apparent, so just kind of slide to the right and you'll find it. Again, continuing editing, you're going to fill out the progress box. Now there is a progress field drop-down box, and I've highlighted it here for you. When you open that box, you're going to select ongoing because this is an academic assessment plan. Now SLOs, when you open the progress box, will have maybe a different choice, but for academic assessment plans, they're always going to be ongoing. So you want to always select that. This is true for all academic assessment plans, regardless of what program or level. Okay, always, always, always. Click Save at the bottom of the page. If you don't click Save, you'll lose it. Okay, editing the fields in AAP detail, continuing. There is something very important that you need to complete called responsible role. All right, to do this, you have to open up the Manage drop-down box. Now, the Manage drop-down box is highlighted here, and you can see that. Okay, and you're going to browse available roles. Okay, this opens up the window called Browse Available Roles. Then you're going to see a list of all of the available roles. Now there's a note here. I want to make sure you realize that if you slide the bar down on this particular field, you'll see that it stops after a while and you'll see other pages. There are multiple pages in the list, so you might have to do some searching to find this person. Okay, so, but if you find that the role or the individual is missing that you need to enter here, you need to contact Cheryl Gator, our Director of SAC COC Accreditation, at cgator@aa.ufl.edu, and she'll see that that gets added. Okay, but if you find the individual, you're going to select that individual, and then you're going to click Add Selected. All right, and then you're going to find them in the window on the right hand side that just opened up called Selected Roles. So you select that individual again, and then you click Add, okay, or Add Role to be precise, and then you simply move forward. Okay, so that's how you get somebody added to that role. And once you add role, you should see that name pop up into the responsible role window. Continuing, what you're going to do now, once you get past the progress field and the responsible role field, you're going to begin to edit the different windows in the AAP detail page that pertain to your particular level or type of academic assessment plan. Okay, so here, again, I'm still in the Master of Science in Agricultural and Biological Engineering AAP detail page. So you click on the Edit button. Right now I've opened up the research portion of this. This opens up the window, okay, and then you're able to type in and edit. When you've finished editing, you simply click Update, and that updates the field, all right, and then update, remember, let me go back, because update does not save this. It simply updates the field. Save and close comes a little bit later, and I'll tell you about that when we get there. So do you need instructions if you kind of forgot what the section needs to be, or if you're filling out a new one, it's your first time? Well, we have an icon now that you can hover over with your mouse, and it will open up the information about that particular field. So here I've highlighted the item here, I've circled it or squared it, whatever you want to call that, and when you hover over, you will see the information about that particular section. Included in that information is a direct link to the website page that we have on Institutional Assessment's website, that will give you specific instructions beyond maybe what you see here, or if you need more time to read it. So we have the information built in for you if you have any questions. It's important when we get to the end of the process of checking your plan that you close out and save changes. So when you've completed entering all the changes in your academic assessment plan detail, you're going to check a box that's new for this year, and that's called the Assessment Plan Entry Complete box. This is your affirmation that you have checked this, you have approved it, and it's what you want. Okay? Then you're going to save and close. This is where it's important to remember to save and close, because this will ensure that your entries are saved in the system. If you don't save and close, I can't say this enough, you'll lose everything that you've done. So don't forget that step. So let's talk about let's review, I should say, what we've talked about today. This is a little checklist for you to go through. First of all, update the student learning outcome numbers to reflect 2014-15. Okay, that's something that our system will not do. You have to do that manually. For your existing academic assessment plans, which, like I said before, the majority of you already have these in the system. Okay, so they'll be there already filled out for you. All right. You're going to edit the AAP details for 2014-15, make any modifications that you need to make. If it's a new plan, you need to complete all of the appropriate components for the type of plan that you're entering. I can tell you for 2014-15, we have at least 85 new certificates that are going to be entered. So remember, certificate plan developers, you do not need to include program goals in a certificate, but all of the other elements do need to be completed. Then you're going to check the completed box at the bottom of the detail page. Remember that, okay? And then save and close. Please don't forget that. It's in capital letters and in bold print. All right? So if you have modified your SLOs or your Academic Learning Compact for 2014-15, remember, you're going to need to submit those changes using the approval forms that are in the approval system. I talked a little bit about how to go about finding that a moment ago. You're going to fill those out. You're going to submit those to the approval system. It needs to go quickly so that the Academic Assessment Committee can get it in time for their April meeting, and they will take action on that. And we'll let you know immediately when that's done so you can go in and modify your academic assessment plan to reflect the approved changes that you have made. And remember too, any changes that you make that are catalog changes, like student learning outcomes in undergraduate programs and academic learning compact changes for undergraduate programs, my office will send those to the catalog editor for you. You will not need to do that. So again, I just told you the academics will notify you for that. Okay, so what resources do we have available for you? Besides this video, along with this video, we have updated the Institutional Assessment Resources page with current forms and information, including all of the tables and all of the templates that you need for curriculum maps, assessment timelines, and so forth. Okay, and there's the link to the resources page. You'll also find this PowerPoint, you'll find this video, and the guide that I showed you at the very beginning of this talk. And there's a picture of the page. So if you need further assistance, you need to email us at assessment@aa.ufl.edu, or you can call us at 273-1090. Thank you. We look forward to hearing from you and to receiving your assessment plans by April the 4th.